Hello out there, my friends. It is I, Hondo Onaka. Now you know what to do. You must tune in to my favorite podcast, the Fiveish Fangirls. Otherwise, there could be consequences.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 422 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast, and I am staring at a tunnel, and there's a light, and I really hope that's not a train. I'm so neck deep into Con Crunch, it's not even funny. So to save some of my sanity, we're going to go pull some names from a hat so that I had to do no research ahead of time whatsoever. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like we do every week with the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany Belvedere.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Anyway, we'll get to we'll get to all the fun stuff here eventually. It's all fun. What am I talking about?
Right.
So yeah, news. So the fandom gods have blessed us because we got our trailer for Good Open Season.
Yeah. Not much longer.
Oh my God, I'm so
And I'm going to try to squeeze in a season 1 rewatch before then.
I hope to fit in a rewatch and a reread.
Ooh, that too.
Honestly.
Good point.
So we will see which happens.
Right.
Maybe both. Maybe I'll do both at the same time. Who knows?
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway,
It
it
was fun,
doesn't. I mean, at
somehow.
the end of the day, it does. It really doesn't matter because it's like they just. It's very obviously that they just all slipped right back into those roles, like
No time lost.
like a good favorite pair of shoes. Like,
Yes.
you know, even though it's been several years, it's like, you know, Michael Sheen is just amazing as Aziraphale. David Tennant is amazing as Crowley. So we got John Hamm back as Gabriel, who. You know, the season 1, it was impending Armageddon with the Antichrist, so technically hell was going to break loose. But apparently this time heaven is going to break loose. So,
Oh, help us all.
yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Uh-huh.
So, but oh yeah, it's just like
Celestial
friends.
World War II.
Yeah. Like, hello, friends. I miss you all.
Yeah.
So happy. It makes me so happy. So thank you, Amazon. Thank you, No Gaiman. And everyone else.
And thank you, Hillywood, for doing the spoof beforehand to get us even more pumped.
Yeah. Good times. And now, here it is, we're almost halfway through June, so July 28th is going to be here before we know it.
Exactly.
So, and I am here for it. So.
I'm probably not thinking of taking that day off.
Yeah. Might need to.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I need to see a doctor.
Yep. Yeah. So, And then I forgot to put this in the notes, but I will put it. But we have got a proper release date for Ahsoka. Speaking of marking stuff on the calendar, so Ahsoka is going to be dropping on Disney Plus on August 23rd.
Ooh. Nice. Perfect time. I mean, back from vacation. So
Mhm.
sweet. So I'm on vacation the week before.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got, Gen Con at the beginning, and then I've got Ahsoka there, and then I've got PopCon Indie right after that. So. Boy. There is all that. So that's exciting. And then this is very exciting. I'm very excited for this. But Doctor Who has announced that we're getting the return of Mel properly. She did have a little bit of it. She had a short appearance in Jodie's last episode with the
Yes, she did.
the companion support group. I was the Doctor's companion, and now I don't know what to do with my life support group. But Mel did not get to interact with any incarnation of the Doctor, unfortunately, in that episode. So now Mel is properly returning and is going to be running around having adventure with not David Tennant's Doctor, but number 15. So that is very exciting. So, because Mel is a good companion, and obviously she's in Big Finish. Might need to find a good Mel Big Finish to do before she makes her screen return.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, she is back. It's gonna be running around with shooting out was a Doctor at some point in the series. So should be a lot of what the first thing I thought was when I saw this news though was like, well, Mel ran around with the 6th and 7th Doctors.
Correct.
Both of which had pretty crazy wardrobe choices. And considering some of the pictures we've gotten of some of Shooty's Doctor's outfit choices, Mel's gonna be like, yeah, this tracks.
Yep. You're the Doctor.
You're the Doctor, and you've got an interesting taste in fashion. Yeah.
No
Been there, done that.
Asked.
Let's go. So
you don't need to tell me twice who you are.
Yep.
I buy it.
Yep.
Here, have some carrot juice. If you
Really.
I know what's going on.
Oh, please let there be a carrot juice reference. Please, Russell T Davies, if you have any humanity.
Oh, something tells me he'll probably have a nod in there somewhere. He better.
But yeah, that's exciting. And hopefully that's also a sign of, what we could possibly be expecting now that RTD is a showrunner again. So, we're getting Mel back. We're all convinced Neil Patrick Harris is playing the Celestial Toy Maker. It's like there's a lot of classic references coming into this new season, and I'm here for it.
Same.
And they have Russell T Davies has said this isn't just a cameo. She is right in the thick of the action, battling monsters and chaos and cliffhangers, right at the Doctor's side, just like the old days.
So cliffhangers just means potentially more than one episode.
Potentially. So I'm so excited. I'm like, is it November yet? But at the same time, I'm like, no, I got other stuff I need to watch first.
I mean, the way this year's been going, it's going to be November before we know it.
That is very, very true, and also very scary. So yeah, but yay, welcome back, Bonnie. So that is that. So speaking of watching stuff, I got an episode of Gold Standard in
And happy 3rd anniversary, you guys.
Yes. And we also celebrated our 3rd anniversary over the weekend. So, which is some good that came out of the weekend because Inter Milan did not do well Saturday.
No.
They tried.
Uh-oh.
That's the thing.
It
wasn't like they got steamrolled.
No,
because they gave as good as they got. Because it was the final score was 1-0,
right?
And Man City had to work for that one. So, but Man City, they just absolutely exhausted Inter out. So,
yeah, I had to leave to go to job number 2 before the game ended, and I checked the score, but I went back to rewatch what I had missed, and holy crud!
Yeah,
but
it was.
Yeah,
they reached the interval at the half, and I had to fight because Nick and I were talking in the chat on a Facebook chat, and I had to they reached the interval, and I just had to find a GIF of just someone exhaling deeply because that's what it felt like. I was like, oh, I'm exhausted just watching. So, oh my goodness. Oh, but they didn't win that, but they did win their league championship earlier in the season, like last month or whatever. So yeah, it's all good.
Yes.
And according to Nick, the new season starts in the fall, so we don't have to wait very long for it.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So Gold Standard, episode 78, talking about the so controversial Best Picture winner Crash, which Sean joins us for that. So good old Sean returning to the Gold Standard Theater. So that is good. And then looking ahead, PopCon Louisville is this coming weekend as we're recording this, the 16th, 17th, and 18th, down in Louisville, Kentucky at the Louisville Expo Center, not the convention center. This is the facility over by Kentucky Kingdom. So, just in case people were thinking it's going to be at that proper Louisville Convention Center. No, those are two different things. So, but I will be there all weekend. We do have a booth. The booth number is 1213. So that should be easy enough to remember. Just think Capaldi Whitaker. And to find us. And I plan on being at the booth pretty much the entire time, except for the 2 panels that I have scheduled. So the first panel is on Saturday, and it is at 2:00. And you'll have to look at the schedule to see what room it's in, because I don't remember off the top of my head. But the Saturday's panel is Name That Geeky Tune.
Ooh.
So it's a variation on the if you remember it, In Conjunction a couple of years ago, I did Name That Backwards Tune, which did okay. I think maybe it was a bit too difficult. And it was also a lot of work for me to create. So this time the songs will not be backwards. They will be playing in the proper direction. But that still doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I've got a lot to pick from, and I've got some interesting choices that you're gonna have to think about it. But that's at 2:00 on Saturday the 17th. If you want to try to become a contestant, because contestants will be pulled from the audience, so you want to get there a little early, so that I can make the selection, which will be done at random. I have an interesting idea for how to select the contestants. So once we get our three contestants, then the madness will really ensue. And there will be prizes.
You have been warned.
Yes, there will be prizes for all three contestants, so nobody's going to walk away empty-handed, even if you don't win.
Cool.
So there is that. And then my other panel is on Sunday at noon, and that is Your Local Library, More Than Just Books. So we're gonna have a fun little panel talking about ways that you may not realize your local library can be an asset to you beyond just checking out books. So, as even though the doctor was like, we're in a library, books, greatest weapons in the world. Yes, they are. But these days, libraries have way more than just books. So I think that should be hopefully a informative presentation. But other than that, I do plan on being at the table most of the time. I do have a couple autographs I want to get, but hopefully those won't be too time consuming. I don't know about photo ops. Unfortunately, the photo op schedule next to my panel schedule is not being very cooperative. So,
ooey.
Yeah. So professional, the pro photo ops might have to. We'll see. They might be able to make it work. So otherwise, I will be at the table, where I will have. I've got some goodies for the kids who stop by. Because kids always like stuff. Doesn't really matter what it is, they just like stuff. So I got little trinkets and little stuff and stickers and that sort of thing for the kiddos. If when they stop by, and then for the adults, I've got a nice bundle of goodies that we will be raffling off. So I'll have raffle tickets for you to acquire if you make a donation to the nonprofit. And I will have the ability I need to double check, but I should have the ability to take plastic if necessary, although cash is always king at any of these events. And then we also have a PayPal as well. So if you have PayPal on your smartphone, you could do it that way as well. But everything is donation based. So you can get those raffle tickets. It's a nice bundle full of items that have been graciously donated to us from the folks at Cards Against Humanity and Exploding Kittens and Funko.
Thank you.
Funko Games. I should specify Funko Games. And then some other, obviously geeky pop culture related stuff that I have acquired over the last, I don't know how long I've been preparing for this. So, but the big stuff is the stuff that was donated by those companies, which we're so grateful for. But I think it's a nice little bundle. I asked Chauncey and he liked it too. So that will be available. I've also got other stuff that you can, if you want to make a donation but not necessarily want to enter the raffle. I've got stuff I've been crafting like crazy, doing essentially upcycling, for lack of a better term. So I've got quite the collection of different sizes of geeky and pop culture, essentially greeting cards, for lack of a better term. But they're all blank on the inside, so you can make them, write whatever you wanted there for whatever occasion. But I've been upcycling like a lot of paper goods to make these. There's some bookmarks in there too. But everything is available via donation to the Fangirls Give Back. So hopefully people like what they see and want to support us that way and maybe get a little something in return. So, but I think it'll be a good time. I think it's going to be a really good time. I hope this goes well, because PopCon has already said they've actually signed a multi-year deal with the Expo Center. So this will be happening again for at least the next couple of years. So hopefully it goes well. And then of course we've got PopCon Indy at the end of August as well. So if you're not so lucky in Kentucky, which I did not mean that to rhyme, but if you go to Kentucky and you end up, not walking away, just know that you will have another opportunity at PopCon Indy, because I will be doing this again, because Funko and Exploding Kittens and Cards Against Humanity were very generous. So I have got enough to do a raffle for this one, and in conjunction, and PopCon Indy. So come have fun. Go annoy Brandon over at the podcast stage. I would say go annoy KJ, but you'll be lucky if you catch KJ sitting down for more than 30 seconds, if it's not a bathroom break, because she is moderating a lot of the celebrity panels. So
nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you make it to any of the celebrity panels, odds are you're going to see KJ. So but Brandon is working the podcast booth, or the podcast stage. There's live podcasts will be occurring. Those are also in the schedule on the website. I know Brandon is going to be doing at least one recording, if not a couple, because I know he's scheduled with one of the cosplay guests. I believe he's going to be doing, I don't know if he's going to be doing Retro Trivial Pursuit again, or if he's got a different game to give away stuff like he did at Indie last year. I know KJ is going to be doing a recording. The team from Established Facts is doing a recording. So it's going to be a lot of familiar faces at this event. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I just have a lot to do. It kind of looks like, I don't know, our house is, I've got piles just everywhere. And Chauncey just looked at it, and I was like, don't worry, most of this is going with us to Kentucky, but not coming back. But yeah, got any questions, send us a message or tweet or whatever. Always, check the PopCon website for the most up-to-date schedule and that sort of things. And I will try to post as much as I can on our social medias. So those that can't make it, I guess you can live vicariously through me. So, any hoozles, that's what's on the docket coming up. But first, we die to do the feedback. We got a little bit of feedback from Shalane. She says, one thing I forgot to mention, but also I'm excited for the upcoming Disney Twisted Tales books. There's going to be a Sword in the Stone and an Incredibles one. That's really cool because I think for the most part, it's mostly been twisted versions of the princess stories. So I really need to read those. They're on the list. I just haven't. Mm-hmm. They're not. They have not moved up the list yet. There's so much stuff in front of them. So, but they look really cool. So, and I know Shalane really likes them. So, says right now they're going to be released outside of the U.S., but hopefully they get a U.S. release maybe next year. Well, that's good because that'll give me time to read all the other ones that already exist. She says the next Disney villains book is going to be about Hades.
Ooh, that should be fun.
That's cool. So yeah, these Disney Twisted Tales. The author takes the stories that we know from Disney and is like, what if, Ursula did keep Ariel's voice or whatever? What if Jafar did get his 3 wish? That sort of thing. So it's like, at least the villains ones, it's like, what if the villain got what they wanted? Essentially. So they sound really cool. I've not been able to fit in reading them yet. So, but I will get to them. I promise. Wait. They are on the list. All right. So moving on. Time to open up IMDb and Wikipedia on your whatever browser you're using, device you're using. It's time to draw some names out of this hat that looks suspiciously like a bag.
Hat in quotations.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Anything can be made into a hat.
Yep.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true. Although if I turn this upside down and put it on my head, all these slips of paper would fall out. So
don't do that.
Yeah. And as always, they're sticking together.
And you'd be picking up those pieces for days.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's times like these where I drop stuff all over the floor and I'm like, I'm kind of glad I don't have a dog at the moment because then they would be like, oh, let me eat this thing that's probably not actually edible.
No.
And then it's just like, what do you have in your mouth? Get back here. Don't clench your jaws.
Yeah.
You can tell. Pet owner. Been there, done that.
Yep. Yep. Alrighty. We got our first celebrity. Ooh, this should be fun.
Ooh. Oh boy.
All right. So this American actor,
okay,
is does a lot of acting in live action, but also voice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think at this point most people know that, but they may not realize who all he's just how prolific he has been.
Okay.
As a voice actor. He was born September 25th, 1951 in Oakland, California. and has been working since the 1970. And I think is doing pretty well for himself. Started out doing TV before he got his first movie role. I don't even know some. I know some of these TV shows that he did. The Partridge Family. Here's an episode of the Partridge Family. Okay. General Hospital, because, you know, if you're an American, you cut your teeth either in bad horror films or soap operas. That's just the way it works in America.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what some of these I've never even heard of some of these TV shows. So One Day at a Time, I've heard of that one. 8 is Enough.
Okay.
He's got 3 kids. He's been married to the same woman since 1978, which is really impressive in Hollywood, and to be honest with you. So he went to Los Angeles City College. Interesting. His dad was a U.S. Navy captain.
I think I might have an idea.
So I think I do too.
They moved around quite a bit. He is one of 7 children.
I just watched an interview about that, so I'm pretty sure I know it's Mark Hamill.
Yes, you're right.
He does a fantastic Joker. A fantastic Joker.
Yeah, Mark Richard Hamill. Obviously, we all know as most people know him as Luke Skywalker from Star Wars.
Yes.
His cameo in What We Do in the Shadows, freaking hilarious. It is worth the watch.
But yeah, he's one of 7 children. He's got two brothers and 4 sisters. His dad was a U.S. Navy captain, so they moved quite a bit because of that. So he lived in Williamsburg and Annandale, which is also in Virginia. Then he moved to San Diego, where he went to junior high. He, during his first year of high school in San Diego, they moved back to Virginia, where he went back to Annandale. And then his junior year, his father got stationed in Japan. So he had to move to Japan. And eventually making his way back to California, where he went to Los Angeles City College, majoring in drama. But yeah, he cut his teeth on television in shows like The Partridge Family and Night Gallery. Which is a wannabe Twilight Zone, apparently. General Hospital. Some of these shows I've never heard of. The Texas Wheelers. Okay. Some television films, as made for TV films. One Day at a Time. 8 is Enough. But then in 1977, he did this little movie called Star Wars.
Yep.
You may have heard of it. What people may not realize is that we have Freddy Krueger to thank for Mark becoming Luke Skywalker. Because
Englund.
Robert Englund
Wow.
was at he was at the same location where they were doing the Star Wars auditions. He was auditioning for something else. Actually, he was auditioning for Apocalypse Now, of all things. But he happened to wander across the hall to where auditions were taking place for Star Wars. And he watched for a while and realized that Mark, who was his friend, would be perfect for Luke Skywalker. So he just suggested to Mark that he should audition. It turns out that Mark's agent had actually already set up an audition for the role, but still, Freddy Krueger knew who Luke Skywalker was going to be. Well, before the rest of us. So
cool.
But yeah, of course, Star Wars became a huge deal. And I think most people know that in between episodes 4 and 5 that Mark was in a pretty bad automobile accident. He fractured his nose and his left cheekbone. So they were able to use, I guess, they tried to work it in to Luke's storyline by having him be captured while on Hoth. So but yeah, obviously the 3 films, the OG 3 films, were a big deal. And of course, Star Wars was everywhere. So they did things like the Star Wars Holiday Special. The cast, some of the cast of Star Wars appeared on The Muppet Show. Both as himself and as Luke Skywalker. So, and he's played himself in a lot of stuff. He's obviously anything kind of nerdy-ish. He would make an appearance as himself, things like the Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
So which he was actually the one that married Sheldon and Amy.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, he's a really good actor. So he's also appeared in such stuff that's not as himself. He's been in the 1990s Flash series where he played the trickster. He's been on Sequest, The Outer Limits. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I know he appears in a couple episodes of Criminal Minds where he's really, really creepy. So I'm excited to when I get to that. Obviously he's appeared in the CW Flash again as the trickster. A Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep. He was in a very little known movie called The Guyver. And Guyver 2, I believe. Yeah. Interesting to say the least.
Yeah. And of course he's his voice has been used in a lot of the extended Star Wars stuff as well. Obviously they through the power of computers were able to recreate younger him and use his voice in both The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. So that's cool. Of course, obviously Luke Skywalker came back for the Disney Star Wars trilogy, which is in itself controversial for a lot of people.
Yep, people, reasons, you name it.
Yeah. So he's also done some voices in Star Wars that aren't Luke Skywalker.
Yes,
Yeah,
So-
he did.
that.
He was the one alien that they were trying to make the connection for, I think, in the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, he has been married to his wife Mary Lou since 1978. So she's a dental hygienist. And according to Mark, that's why his marriage has lasted as long as it has, because she's not an actor.
Makes
I
sense.
can see that. I can.
Makes complete and total sense.
Yeah. But they have 3 kids, Nathan, Griffin, and Chelsea. And actually, Nathan is one of the royal guards of Naboo in episode 1.
Cool.
And all 3 have were portrayed resistance soldiers in The Last Jedi.
Nice. Very cool when they can make it a family affair.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, when he's not doing live action acting, obviously he's been very, very prolific as a voice actor. And has been doing various versions of the Joker since the early 90s. So Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, Batman New Times, he's done the Trickster as well in voice version, Lego DC Comics Superheroes, Justice League Attack of the Legion of Doom. That's a long name for a direct to video Lego DC movie. So, of course, the infamous Batman the Killing Joke.
Yep.
He voiced the Joker, which the Joker in that one is a dick. I mean, the Joker's always kind of a dick, but the Killing Joke is just like
he
Joker
cranks
really
it up to 11 and then some. He breaks the knob.
Does. Yeah, he does. He's also done Scooby-Doo. So,
Of course, to be Scooby-Doo and Batman crossover.
Yeah. He did Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Yeah, Snakebite Scruggs, which sounds like a bad guy name if I ever heard one.
Exactly.
Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, where he played Steve.
Well, 50-50 chance, but bad Steve, good Steve.
He voices Scooby-Doo and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I don't remember Scooby-Doo being in that, and I've seen that movie, but it's been a while.
Yeah,
maybe it was just one of those quick cameos.
Yeah, maybe, because it's Jay and Silent Bob going to Hollywood to try and stop a movie being made that uses their likenesses. So yeah, it could be that, like, one of those things. Especially if Jay and Silent Bob are doing what Jay and Silent Bob do best. Oh,
yeah,
little Cheech and Chong moment. So
yeah.
Apparently, he's been in like a newer version of Scooby-Doo called Scooby-Doo and Guess Who? He's played the Trickster, the Joker, and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he's done a lot of not just film but TV, obviously voice acting, sometimes as himself, sometimes as himself. So Batman the Animated Series.
Even some Marvel stuff. He was Zola in some of the animated ones.
Yeah, the 90s Spider-Man series. He voices the Hobgoblin. Well, he was an episode of The Tick.
Oh gosh. That brought back a memory.
Yeah, the animated version, not the live action, but yeah, The Simpsons. He's played himself. So Powerpuff Girls. So yeah, he gets around, but again, with voice acting, it's somewhat easier to be very prolific act, because you can kind of record, as long as you have the right equipment, the right, whatever, you can record a lot of stuff easily from almost anywhere. I mean, we all saw Peter Davison turned a closet into a recording booth during the pandemic for Big Finish. So yeah. And he's still at it. He's in the Netflix Sandman. Plays Mervyn Pumpkinhead. So that's pretty cool. And of course, video games as well, because if you're a voice actor, you do a little bit of everything. Again, the Joker and a lot of stuff. He voiced Red Skull in Marvel Superhero Squad, The Infinity Gauntlet, which is a video game. So
he's also done some of my favorite commercials, the Uber Eats with Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh, that's right.
And he has done some stage work too. He did the Elephant Man, playing John Merrick in the early 80s. He played Mozart in Amadeus, in a run of Amadeus in the early 80s. That's pretty cool. Wait, is that the version? Hold on, 82. The Broadhurst. Yeah, that run. Yeah, that run started, because I looked at this when we did Amadeus on Gold Standard. Yeah, that run started in late December 1980 at the Broadhurst Theater. That was the Broadway. That was the Broadway premiere, because before it had been across the pond. And the original cast was Ian McKellen as Salieri, Tim Curry as Mozart, and Jane Seymour as Constance. So,
what a lineup!
Yeah, it would go on, and it would run for almost 3 years. It ran from December 1980 to October of 1983. So yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of the number of names there who were in that run. So I was like, wait a minute, is that the run? So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Mark Hamill. Apparently he is a lifelong fan of Laurel and Hardy. Apparently in 2016 he called into a radio show and to talk for over an hour about his passion for Stan and Ollie. I wonder if you could find that audio anywhere.
Apparently he kept his boots from the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And apparently his son asked if he could wear them to one of the releases. And he says that Hamill said no, telling him he didn't think the boy would get out alive if fans knew his boots were the originals.
Yeah, Dad's pretty much right on that one. Yeah.
I can just imagine.
No, the replicas.
So, and obviously, Mark has been a huge supporter of the Star Wars fandom. Going to events when he can, going to comic conventions when he can. Obviously, he is a big draw, and not every convention can accommodate the draw that that he would bring. I mean, what was it? That was early on. Unfortunately, Chrissy's not here because she's sick. But I think it was early on in our podcast. One of the years that Chrissy went to Salt Lake, probably back when I think it was still called Salt Lake Comic-Con before they had to change the name, and Mark was a guest, but they had to do it over at the basketball arena because of the amount of people. You guys remember that?
Yep.
That was crazy. So, but yeah, he's been he's quite active on Twitter. So, if you need a bit of a serotonin boost, Mark most of the time is a good place to go. Although he's also very vocal about his political beliefs, so be forewarned if you don't like politics in your Twitter feed. But he's also very, very good about interacting with the Star Wars fans.
Yes.
So apparently he's a fan of the Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club.
Cool. Well, I can remember one tweet of a Star Wars fan who was a mom. She had taken a picture of how her child said each of the names of the characters, and he responded back, something with, and then how the child pronounced Luke's name. It was so cute.
Yeah. He's been inducted as a Disney legend.
Nice.
Of course. He does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So he even has an asteroid named after him.
Awesome.
110026 Hamill. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That was he got that designation in 2001. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mark Hamill. He's a good dude. Very good dude. So always nice to see celebrities who are part of fandoms that sometimes can have very rabid fan base. And be able to handle said rabid fan base with as much grace that he can. So yeah, they all have their own way. You know, Carrie Fisher, she just threw glitter at you,
Right?
Which itself not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you know, now, you know, unfortunately she's no longer with us, but you know, the people that got a chance to meet her, those that got glitter bombed can now say for the rest of their life that they got, you know, glitter bombed by Princess Leia. So not everyone has that distinction. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's pull another one. There's so many dudes in here. Like, statistically, odds are we're probably gonna get another dude. Unfortunately. Or a good thing, depending on how you look at it. Oh, okay. Well, I was right that it was another dude. Let me pull up his Wikipedia page. So this actor is a Brit.
Okay.
Whose birthday is 2 days before mine. Did I know that? Not the same year. He is quite a bit older than me, but his birthday is 2 days before mine. Did I know that? Is done quite a interesting mix of things throughout his life. You know, he's done TV, film, stage, of course. Narrated a documentary series called Ambulance. So let's see, he's got 2 brothers that are twins that are 8 years older than him.
Okay.
Of course, being a Brit, when you decide you're going to be an actor, you do
a couple certain shows.
You do, yeah, you do. Yeah, again, you cut your teeth on certain things. So you trained at the Central School of Speech and Drama. Of course, he's done Shakespeare, Chekhov, Moliere.
I may have an idea.
A production of Streetcar Named Desire, the Old Vic. So, along with odd jobs like a job at a supermarket and on building sites, kind of taking the Harrison Ford route, trying to make ends meet.
And am I correct? Did this actor also happen to star in a early Marvel movie in the most current MCU?
Well, what would you call early?
Like phase 1 or phase 2?
Yes.
Oh,
with a certain hammer?
I think I know who too.
Yep.
He is also in one of our tentpole fandoms.
Oh yes.
Yes.
The ears.
I have met. Let's just say I have met this person. How about that?
Yes.
Which is not something I can say usually when we do this. So
no.
I have met this man. I have got his autograph and a photo with him.
So am I correct in it? It is Christopher Eccleston?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The way you were kind of going around about, I'm just like,
It's like, I can't give it.
Yeah. The way you were
like,
really tap dancing with the
it's like, how do you tap dance around Doctor Who?
Doctor Who.
And the MCU.
You're right.
So.
Like, she's soft shoeing. I kind of had an idea, and then when I did the search and I confirmed, I'm like, yep, that's it. It's gotta be him.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, he's got he's from an area of Lancashire. Salford, Lancashire, which is in Greater Manchester. So lots of planets have a north.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, at the age of 19, that's when he decided to pursue acting. So yeah, he made his professional stage debut in A Streetcar Named Desire at age 25. But even after graduating college, even with that, he wasn't getting steady enough work to make ends meet. So he was doing odd jobs to try to make a living. So, and of course, being a Brit, he one of his early acting jobs on television was an episode of Inspector Morse in 1991. He appeared in an episode of the Poirot series based on Agatha Christie novels. He had a regular role in the series Cracker, which is a crime drama series. But he wanted to leave after a while, so they killed him off. And the killer, Albie, was played by Robert Carlyle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mr.
My doctor was killed by Rumpelstiltskin. He appeared in a low-budget Danny Boyle film called Shallow Grave alongside a guy we have talked about already, Ewan McGregor. He did the overlap, because again, the UK, 12 actors. He did a drama serial called Our Friends in the North in 1996, and the cast included people like Mark Strong and Daniel Craig. He was in the film Elizabeth, which was Kate Blanchett's film where she plays Elizabeth first. He was in Gone in 60 Seconds. He was in 28 Days Later, which I remember that. So a lot of independent movies. Yeah, a lot of British TV series. this, that, and the other thing. A modern retelling of Othello. So again, Shakespeare. But of course, he became really, really well known to not just the UK, but the world over when Doctor Who was rebooted and he was cast as the 9th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Which that announcement came on the 2nd of April, 2004. And then, of course, Doctor Who came back to the TV in late March 2005. He was the first actor to play the role of the Doctor who was born after the series had began. And then, of course, and then, of course, he left. The statement that was released says that he left because he feared of becoming typecast. But it was later revealed by the BBC that that was actually falsely attributed and released without Eccleston's consent.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He'd actually agreed. He'd only intended to do one series. And obviously once he regenerated, he became David Tennant, and all hell broke loose for the Whovian fandom. So, of course, off and on, Chris has been asked about Doctor Who and didn't necessarily want to talk about it. It seemed for the longest time that that he had kind of a chip on his shoulder about Doctor Who and the fandom and doing that and everything. Although Russell T Davies mentioned in 2008 that Chris had only signed for a year because they weren't even sure if the show would continue after a single series. Like, you're bringing Doctor Who back, and you thought maybe it wouldn't be successful.
Right.
Of course, we have the benefit of hindsight
right
now, but it's like, yeah, I think you're okay. The show's almost has been back for almost 20 years. I think we're okay. Right. But and then there was speculation if he was going to come back for the 50th, which he didn't, but they did use a clip, for all of the incarnations coming to save Gallifrey, which still made people happy. I was so excited to see him. But now he started to do the conventions, and that's been he said a healing a healing experience for him. He said that meeting fans at conventions healed something in him and made him reevaluate his relationship with the series. That's sweet. So, because he started doing conventions in 2018, and then I met him in 2019. That was the last convention I went to before all hell broke loose in 2020. And even then, I knew that he was still fairly new to doing conventions, and you could just kind of tell that I think he was overwhelmed that many people wanted to see him and meet him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very, very pleasant, very nice. It happened to be November 23rd, so it was Doctor Who's birthday. It's also Michelle Gomez's birthday as well. But so it was kind of nice to be able to meet the first Doctor that I ever saw. He was my first Doctor in introduction to Doctor Who on what was Doctor Who's birthday. So I thought that was really cool. And he was really nice. I have no complaints whatsoever. And what, his table was right next to Dave Bautista's, so I could see his interactions, Chris's interactions with the fans while I was waiting in line for Bautista, and he was very nice. Yeah, everybody I know that's met him has said that he's a very, very nice man. A bit on the quiet side. Again, I think that's just getting used. I think the whole thing, if I've never, been in the situation of like a celebrity, but I've gone to enough of these conventions to know that just going to a fan convention can be overwhelming. If if you're new to it, you're just dipping your toe into it, let alone if you're a celebrity and you have hundreds of people coming up to you who just want to say hi and say, hey, I like this thing you did. Could you sign this for me? And then, the photo ops and stuff like that. I was like, I can't imagine what it's like. If I ever got to the point of being famous to be on like that side, I have enough convention experience that at least the overall experience would not be that overwhelming. But I can't imagine being a celebrity and also being new to just conventions in general. So,
and I do have his biography, or the one that he wrote, in my to be read pile.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard an interview with him, I think on NPR, because during there's a certain like time block during the day that my local NPR station does feeds from the BBC. So cool. Like really early in the morning, it's the BBC instead of NPR. But I don't do early morning commutes anymore. So it just so happened that I was up and commuting and had that on. And I think it was when Chris's book was getting ready to come out or just came out. And I think he was doing, press interviews for that. If I remember correctly, like, according to him, his relationship with the BBC is not that very good. There were some bridges burned when he left Doctor Who, specifically. But I believe, I don't know if it was exactly at the same time as when he was on Doctor Who or not long after, like his father started to become ill. So he had his father got like really, really sick, and I think maybe eventually he ended up passing away. So Chris was dealing with some like serious like personal family stuff during that same time period. So I could kind of understand maybe what he probably maybe wasn't in the best mindset. And really we only know what he has said, and I can't imagine a whole lot of other people from the BBC other than Russell T Davies, can say his experience. But obviously things have been amended, because now he's back in Big Finish as the Ninth Doctor. So, that's good that they're able to get the licensing for his incarnation of the Doctor, for him to be able to do Big Finish, which is really good. So, although he said it's not likely he's ever going to return to TV as the Doctor anytime soon. But he is going to, he's done some Ninth Doctor box sets, and then his Doctor is going to appear in the 60th, the Big Finish 60th anniversary 8-part craziness that is Big Finish. So yeah, it's unfortunate everything that happened with that, but it is what it is, and you just kind of have to set that aside and be like, well, that's the past, and just kind of move forward. It's very similar to Harrison Ford with Star Wars. Harrison Ford, we've talked we've pulled Harrison Ford's name, so we've talked about this. But especially because we were just talking about Mark Hamill, who has been a staunch supporter of Star Wars the entire time from day one. But Harrison Ford, he wanted Han to get killed off in the first movie. That didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. And he got a bit of a chip on his shoulder when it came to the Star Wars fandom and really wanted nothing to do with it. But then as time has progressed, and then they, brought Han back for, The Force Awakens. But then they also gave him what he wanted. He'd wanted for 40 years and finally killed Han off. So, but yeah, so sometimes when like I say, when talking about Mark, sometimes you end up part of these fandoms that sometimes have fans that are very intense, and I could see it being a turnoff, but at the same time, there's especially the Doctor Who fandom. I mean, it's one of my favorites to be part of. With few, there's always going to be, bad apples. But for the most part, the Doctor Who fandom is fabulous. The fans and the actors. Every person I've met that's got a connection to Doctor Who has been wonderful. So I'm glad that Chris has come around and is finding happiness in being part of the fandom. So keep it up, Whovians. Keep treating him right.
Yeah.
We don't want him running off again.
Nope. Let's show him that he is very, very much appreciated.
Yep. Yeah, he's done obviously he tends to do more independent type stuff for the most part, especially when it comes to film. Although occasionally he has dipped his toe into more mainstream stuff. Obviously, he played Claude, the Invisible Man, in Heroes.
If I remember right, the first time he popped up in that show, the first what he says is fantastic. Sarcastically, if I remember right. Which made me laugh.
He was in G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra.
Yes, I was.
I
thought he was as a bad guy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
He's portrayed John Lennon.
Yep.
In a BBC production called Lennon Naked.
Yes.
I remember hearing about it. I haven't watched it, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah. And again, UK, 12 actors. His Yoko Ono. Naiko Mori. Played Tosh in Torchwood.
Cyclical.
Again, 12 actors.
Rock Quarry's an actress. You are right. Rock Quarry's corridors and actors.
Yep. So, and then of course he was Malekith in Thor: The Dark World.
Yes.
Yes.
Which, if you ask Marvel fans, that one's ranked fairly low. Whatever. Which apparently he enjoyed doing it. He didn't enjoy the makeup. Apparently the makeup was
understandable from
Yep.
So it's something he and I'm having a brain fart. Dip, dip, dap, dip, I can see his face. Something he and Hugo Weaving can commiserate over. Their how much time did you spend in the makeup chair as part of the MCU? At least with Malekith, it was a one and done. So, he didn't have to worry about it again. Unlike Hugo Weaving, where Red Skull needed to come back. And he's like, nope, I'm not doing it. That makeup is awful. So, I've never watched this, but I've heard it's supposed to be really good. The Leftovers. It's a series on HBO.
Yeah, I've heard that's supposed to be really good too.
Yeah.
I've caught like 1 or 2 episodes, and from what I saw, it was good, but I just kind of lost track, or it might have been interest at the time, or I just wasn't in the right mindset. So I'm going to try to go back and watch it. But from what everybody else that I know that has watched it, they said it is really good.
Mm. And then he did yeah. Then he did a BBC series called The A Word.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays the grandfather father. He's got a daughter who's married and has a kid, so his grandson is autistic. And apparently it's supposed to be really well done as far as portrayal of autism.
Mm-hmm.
So and of course, more Shakespeare. He did the Royal Shakespeare Company's production of Macbeth in 2018. He did King Lear. Oh yeah, and right, he's doing Dodger, which is a series about the Artful Dodger from Oliver Twist.
Ooh.
And he plays Fagin, which made that news came out, and that made DJ Nick very happy because he just loves the character of Fagin. So yeah. But yeah, it was
I might have to try that out.
pretty wild.
It's available.
He was married for a short while. They had 2 kids, a son named Albert and a daughter named Esme. He is a supporter of Manchester United. Apparently he was a regular marathon runner until the year 2000. And then Pendleton College, which is in Salford, named its 260-seat auditorium the Eccleston Theater. He has been a charity ambassador for MenCap, the Royal MenCap Society, which is a charity that works with people with learning disabilities. He's a supporter of the British Red Cross, and he also supports research for Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia because his father had vascular dementia from 1990. Yeah, okay. So yeah, his father was ill he was well into his disease when Chris got the gig on Doctor Who. Because his father, I think, was diagnosed in the late 90s and then died in 2012. So, and Chris himself has, in his autobiography, once you read it, you'll find out that he has had mental health issues for quite a long time, including eating disorders and depression. So yeah, but I mean, it's good that he's still with us, that even though he has had moments of, considering not being around anymore, to put it mildly, he did not go through with it, so that he's still with us, and it's good that he's being open about it.
Yeah.
Which is good. He's being open about these things only makes it less stigmatized and makes it seem more, quote unquote, normal. So those that may be suffering and feel like they're all alone can realize that they're not. So I myself suffer from depression and anxiety. I've been on medication for several years now at this point. So good for you, Chris, for being open about those things. So, but yeah, he's he's not as prolific as some of the other people that we've talked about, but there's nothing wrong with that. He's still doing films and television. He is his next film to be released, it looks like, because it's in post-production. It's called Young Woman and the Sea. It's being produced by Walt Disney Pictures and Jerry Bruckheimer Films. And stars Daisy Ridley, and is a biographical film about Gertrude Ederle, who was a American competitive swimmer and Olympic champion. That's cool. She was the first woman to swim across the English Channel. It's cool. Apparently he's playing Jabez Wolf, who attempted to swim the English Channel 21 times between 1906 and 1914. It never actually did, though. Closest attempt was in 1908, which failed by yards. Poor guy. So that's interesting. Apparently that's going to be released on Disney Plus. When? Cool. I do not know. So, but they wrapped last June, so soon, maybe ish. That'd be interesting, though. I love biographical stuff. TV as well. His most, let's see, currently he is filming a role in season 4 of True Detective. Cool. Which is an anthology crime drama. The first season had Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. So, but the cast changes every season because it's a different story, because it's an anthology. So that's cool. And then, of course, Big Finish. Yeah. Doing the Big Finish. So So yeah, if you want to hear him while you're waiting for that other stuff to come out, there is Big Finish to listen to. So because there are at the moment there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Ninth Doctor adventures available via Big Finish. And then, of course, the big 60th anniversary is going to be released in individual pieces, but there are eight in total. So stay tuned to the Big Finish. Because I believe those are supposed to start releasing soon. I think I saw that somewhere. I want to say it's the 7th Doctor one that's getting released first. Don't trust my memory, though. I am like Dory, and I have got a memory to match. So oh no, it was an art. That's what it was. It was an cover art release. That's what it was. The 7th Doctor audio is the 3rd. It's going to be the 3rd part. So it still should be soon, though, because it's due to be released in July. So interesting. Apparently, this special edition CD is sold out. Oh, it's already. Yeah, no, it's already. Doctor Who, Once and Future, Past Lives. That's a 4th Doctor. That has been released. It got released in May. So, man, I am behind.
With Sadie Miller. Yeah.
And then the next one is The Artist at the End of Time with the 5th Doctor and Jenny.
Yes.
I think that's really hilarious that father and daughter are but that's the one where Colin Baker is the curator. Plays the curator. So is he the curator or is he the 6th Doctor? So, but that's the next one. That's the next one to be released. And then the 7th Doctor will be after that. And then we don't know anything about the we don't have descriptions for the next ones. So, and which doctors are which yet. So that's cool. Hey, hustles.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for Big Finish.
Yes.
For keeping these doctors going. So, all right. I think that's a good couple of guys to
I think so.
talk about. So,
yes.
I love the fact that I could say I've met one of these. People. And hopefully one day you will too. So,
and who knows? Hopefully one day you might be able to meet the other guy that you haven't met out of the two that we talked about.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go out of my way necessarily to meet Star Wars people. I mean, I like Star Wars, and definitely the new stuff like like I said, the Mandalorian has really converted me. BTW, Emily Swallow, the Armor, gonna be at PopCon Louisville this weekend. So
this is the way.
Yeah. And speaking of the MCU, Ross Marquand It was Hugo Weaving's replacement. It's Red Skull, also going to be at PopCon Louisville this weekend. Yeah. I don't necessarily go out of my way to meet the Star Wars folks, but Mark is, I mean, obviously he's Luke Skywalker at the end of the day, but he's so much more than that. So yeah, I would not mind meeting Mark, just for the sake of meeting Mark Hamill, not because I'm necessarily a huge Star Wars fan, but just be like, he's a cool dude. So, and I can, safely say that Christopher Eccleston, pretty cool dude. So, got that going. So, any other thoughts or comments about either of these guys? Nope. All right. Well, if any of our listeners have thoughts about Mark Hamill or Christopher Eccleston, if you've met either and want to tell us about your experience, you can send us a feedback just like Shalane did. The easiest way to do that is send us an email, fivishfangirls@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is the fivishfangirls.com, just in case you forget. It's also listed there, or you can send us a message via other avenues, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, take your pick. We're on all of those. I would especially recommend that you're following us on the Instagrams and the Twitters this weekend. So, just saying. Who knows what's gonna happen at PopCon? And of course, also on our website are links to the Goodreads book club, speaking of Doctor Who, and possibly Big Finish, depends on what wins the vote each month. So you can join us there in our monthly Doctor Who book or Big Finish discussion.
Yes.
And if you would like to financially support us, you can do that a number of ways to become a regular supporter on Patreon, which we're very, very grateful for those that are patrons on the reg. Is that what the kids are saying these days? I have no idea. You can also do a one-time donation through Ko-fi. Of course, all of those are merchandise on Redbubble. All of that goes to support the podcast. But if you would like to support the nonprofit Fangirls Give Back, there's also information on that section of the website as well, like our PayPal. So if you would like to support the nonprofit and our initiatives, like the panels that I am doing this weekend and upcoming at other events, that really, really helps us. So, and again, don't forget about PopCon Louisville this weekend, booth 1213. Name That Geeky Tune on Saturday at 2 p.m. and your local library, More Than Just Books, on Sunday at noon. Plus the raffle, plus all the goodies, plus all the tangents, and the squee. It's going to be a good time. I look forward to seeing all the peoples. I've missed your faces. And it should be a good time. So, and I will have a full recap next week.
Yay.
Assuming I don't come down with Concrud and lose my voice.
Fingers crossed. Stay hydrated, stay hydrated.
Yes, I've got a big old water bottle. I have liquid IV for extra hydration. And a big old bottle of hand sanitizer I always keep at the table. So
perfect. Good on ya.
Yep. If anybody wants some hand sanitizer, please just ask. I'm more than happy to share. It's a big bottle. So
just make sure you don't have any paper cuts.
Yes, that is true. So, all right. Well, until then, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany Domino's saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. So much to do, so much to do, so much to do. Where's my glue stick?
Thank you for listening to the Fiveish Fangirls. Please visit thefiveishfangirls.com for details on how to further support the show, along with information on our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back. We love our Fiveish fam and appreciate all of your feedback, shares, and encouragement. Remember to keep letting your geek flag fly.